Hey, what's up guys, it's Ronald here. So this video is going to focus on the absolute hypocrisy from the South African government with specific reference to DIRCO. Because DIRCO came out with a statement on behalf of the South African government saying that there is no reason for them to cut ties with Iran. No reason, you say. I'll delve into that a little bit later, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely free, it won't cost you anything, and the overwhelming majority of you that regularly watch my content aren't subscribed, but you can fix that by clicking the subscribe button below. Alright, so let's just jump straight into this article. Alright, so this article is by Reuters, and yes, I know they spread a lot of fake news, specifically with the refugee program, but all of this has been verified as being said by the individual, and that's why I'm comfortable using them as a source here. South Africa rejects US pressure to distance itself from Iran. I'm going to just read the first few paragraphs because that is where the crux of the matter is. South Africa has no reason to cut ties with Iran, its Director General of Foreign Affairs said after the new US ambassador was quoted as saying the country's association with the Islamic Republic was an impediment to good relations with Washington. In an interview with Reuters over the weekend, Zane Dangor also rejected some other administration demands, such as dropping South Africa's genocide case against Israel, scrapping black empowerment laws, or accepting a refugee program for whites. It's not a program for whites only, and I don't understand why it is so hard for mainstream media or the Director General from DIRCO to just go and read the actual document that is available for everybody to peruse. And it simply states that this program is open to all minorities in South Africa. And there are cases where even black people got accepted into this program. So this narrative that is kept on being driven, where it has been debunked multiple times before, mainstream media just keeps on telling the story. I mean, where's News 24's debunking desk, you know, the one that they always brag about? Why don't they take this and say, is it factual or not? But they won't, because that is not the narrative that they want to drive. Dangor was speaking against the backdrop of the US and Israeli war on Iran, a conflict placing increased strains on governments navigating relationships with Tehran, and a sharp deterioration in Pretoria's ties with the US during President Donald Trump's second term. It goes on, but it mentioned the important parts that I would like to focus on. Now, it's very important to note that DIRCO themselves said that there is no reason to break ties with Iran. Now we know that at least 30,000 people were brutally killed by the Iranian government because they were peacefully protesting, because they wanted a regime change, because they didn't want to live under this oppressive government. And then the government also switched off the internet so that the people that were brutally being murdered, or the witnesses to that, could not tell the world what was going on. And that is why we still don't have an accurate number, but the number, according to many sources, including the UN, is at least 30,000 people. So our government, the ANC-led coalition, has said that there's no reason to break ties with Iran. So what they are saying is, it's perfectly fine to kill over 30,000 of your own citizens and cut off the internet so that the rest of the world can't know. That's what they're saying. Now, just to give you some context with regards to this ANC government that is allowing a country to kill 30,000 of their own people and staying in a relationship with this country has taken Israel to the ICJ for genocide. And when you look at the total numbers over 3 years of how many people were killed in that war, and that includes soldiers and civilians, that number is 74,000 people over 4 years. So Iran that killed 30,000 people over little over 2 months is fine. Friends, no reason to break the relationship between South Africa and Iran. But Israel, ICJ, even though it was a war, even though they are still involved in this war, and even though Palestine attacked them first on October 7th and killed thousands of their own civilians unprovoked, no, we're taking them to the ICJ. But Iran, you're cool. You're cool. Even though you killed over 30,000 of your own people, don't stress, buddy. We've got your back. It's 100% fine. This is how evil the ANC government is. This is how evil Dirko is. This is how ignorant a lot of South Africans in this country are, because they are praising Iran. They are defending Iran. And we're not even talking about the gross human rights violations that have occurred in Iran with women and children, forced marriages, public floggings and executions if the women and children didn't follow the law there. We're not even talking about that. This is who the ANC government is aligning themselves with. But here is the kicker. And are you ready for this? So, to give you context, Iran, over 30,000 people brutally murdered. People are assessing that it's roughly closer to 45,000. But let's go with the low number, 30,000, right? Then we've got the Israel war with Palestine that is 74,000 people. Do you know how many people have been murdered in South Africa over the last 2 years? Over 80,000 people. So, the country that is taking Israel to the ICJ and is saying that Iran, it's all right, we're going to look the other way. We're going to publicly say we condemn this, but, we're not going to break any relations with you. We're going to stay in this partnership with you. Screw you, United States. Yeah, we're going to stick. Don't worry. The way you treat your women and children and how you kill your civilians, don't stress about it, right? With all of those numbers, you still have South Africa that is the leader in deaths in this country. And we're not even involved in a war. Let that sink in. So a nation that can't control its own criminals and allow over 2 years, over 80,000 people to be brutally murdered, wants to lecture Israel, and they want to still be buddy-buddies with Iran that has killed over 30,000 of their own people. Can anybody please make this make sense? On what level is this acceptable? On what level and what type of human being must you not be to look at all of this information and go, nah, I'm still sticking with Iran. Iran is actually the victim in all of this. And South Africa is justified in taking Israel to the ICJ. Can anybody explain how that makes sense? Because I'm over here looking at what is right and what is wrong. And of course, killing over 30,000 of your own people just shows what an evil regime you are. And then if another nation looks at that and goes, we're not going to break our relationship or relations with Iran, even though they killed all those people, we're not denying that it happened, but we are still going to align with them. That is pure evil, is it not? And then on top of all of it, your own country leads the amount of deaths, even though you're not actively in a war. And then you want to lecture other nations? Like, who the hell do you think you are? That with the highest amount of murders, do you want to lecture other nations on what's going on? And specifically the United States. I mean, South Africa wants to act like they're standing on this pedestal of morality and that they're doing the right thing. But on every single statistic, South Africa is in actual fact the worst perpetrator of not dealing with murders in their own country. So this has just reached that point of absurdity that most people in this country can't comprehend. But when you go onto social media, you'll see people waving the flag for Iran and condemning Israel and then praising South Africa. But at the end of the day, when historians will look back at this moment and focus on South Africa, what they will see is a country that had the most amount of murders over a 2-year period, took Israel to the ICJ for genocide and excused Iran killing over 30,000 of their own people. And yes, I know I'm repeating these numbers consistently because I want you to exactly know what the numbers are. So the next time you have somebody that wants to argue with you, you have the facts on your side. It's there for everybody to see. If you don't trust me, go Google it or AI it or ask your favorite AI and they will tell you that this is accurate. But ultimately, anybody that is going and looking at this and saying that South Africa is in the right by supporting Iran, no, they're not. They are supporting a very evil regime. But then, if you look at the stats in this country, you realize that not only are they supporting an evil regime, but the ANC-led coalition itself is an evil regime, specifically DIRCO, in how they are trying to break this relationship that this country has with the United States in favor of a nation that kills its own citizens. There's not more than I can add to that, other than just God help us all with a government like this and the bedfellows that they keep. It is shocking to say the least. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share this video far and wide. Smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. Remember, it's absolutely free. However, if you'd like to contribute towards this channel financially, you can give a super thanks by clicking the $sign below. Or you can become a member to this channel that comes with its own perks. And the way that you can do that is by clicking the join button below, and it'll cost you R39.99 a month. And that's in support of me and this channel, and it'll be greatly appreciated. And that's all I got to say, everybody. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre.